the greatest political and cultural power grab in the history of the West through this immigration process, the open borders, no vetting, no deportation. They have their judges in place to undermine everything our president wants to do. And now they've called out their violent militia, which they do from time to time, 2020 and other times. And they are trashing law enforcement yet again. They're trashing ICE. ICE is under attack like never before by the Democrat Party militia. What do you make of all this?
Well, you've laid it out perfectly, Mark. Let me zoom out a little bit and provide some broader historical context. The left has been trying to shove Marxism, socialism, and communism down the throats of the American people for generations now. They ultimately were not able to do this during the Cold War because the middle class revolted against communism and Marxism and social engineering. The left shifted their tactics. The Democratic Party shifted their tactics to use migration as a weapon to break down the middle class and to gain political power and control in this country. They used migration to destroy our public education system, to destroy our healthcare system, to destroy wages and working conditions for the middle class of this country, and in effect, to destroy social and community cohesion. And then in that rubble, in that chaos, in that conflict, to then try to articulate the need for ever more government control, ever more government redistribution, ever more government power, and then to ultimately import voters to then support that agenda, to import voters who do not believe in limited government, who do not believe in the U.S. Constitution. And that is why you are seeing now this violent insurrectionist revolt by the Democrat Party against immigration and customs enforcement. You see video after video after video of Democrat shock troops in the streets hurling rocks at ICE officers and Border Patrol in their vehicles, firing projectiles at them, violently assaulting them, and yes, opening fire on them. Multiple assassination attempts against our brave and heroic ICE and Border Patrol agents, and barely a word of condemnation from the Democrat Party. In fact, the Democrat rhetoric calling our ICE officers, calling our Border Patrol Nazis and Gestapos and fascists, demanding as they do that ICE leave their communities, this nullificationist rhetoric, all of which inspires and incites these domestic terror attacks against law enforcement. So we really are at a hinge point here for the West, a fulcrum point. President Trump campaigned and won on a historic mandate to empower ICE and Border Patrol, to restore the sovereign enforcement of our laws, and to get illegal and criminal aliens out of our country. He is delivering on that mandate each and every day. And now we see violent terrorist attacks against ICE and Border Patrol to try to slow their progress. So we need all patriotic Americans to speak with one clear voice in support of ICE and Border Patrol, in support of President Trump, so that we can carry out and fulfill this mandate that Americans voted for at the ballot box just a few months ago.
So brilliantly put. Now, Stephen, I've made a comparison between this movement and the old Confederacy, which is this whole idea of sanctuary cities and sanctuary states, as if the Constitution doesn't give plenary authority to the federal government when it comes to immigration and so forth, specifically to the president. And so they are defying the Constitution while they're waving around the Constitution and talking about due process and free speech. Isn't this akin to that in the sense that they're trying to nullify federal immigration law?
Yes, you are witnessing a secessionist movement in real time. You are witnessing an effort to nullify and invalidate the entire structure of the U.S. Constitution. When you see violent rioters and migrant mobs attacking federal law enforcement in Los Angeles, and then you see the mayor of Los Angeles not condemning the mobs, but saying over and over again, ICE out of our city, ICE out of our city. What the mayor of Los Angeles is saying is that she believes that Los Angeles is not part of our federal union, that Los Angeles is not subject to our national laws, not subject to federal law enforcement. So it is an effort in a very real sense to overthrow our whole constitutional design. No city in this country is immune from federal law enforcement, and no city can aid and abet an invasion of this country over the will of the American people and the law enforcement officers empowered to enact the American people's will. So this really is, as you said, this is successionist behavior, and it comes at a cost, at a massive cost to American lives. You have illegal aliens working in league with cartels and drug dealers who are poisoning our children, hundreds of thousands of Americans dead. You have the largest child trafficking movement in the history of the modern world. 500,000 minors trafficked into this country. And just in the last 24 hours, we have seen probably today another 20, 30, 40 kids that were rescued from child trafficking. And you will not hear a single word spoken by the Democrat Party thanking President Trump for rescuing these children.
Very well said.